Hey guys, here's a rerun of Island 5 as promised. Much easier strategy. Go ahead and grab your hero, marker on strong. Go ahead and start with a spike. You're going to start with the bottom path twice and mark it on close. Then you're going to upgrade the middle path twice on here to even faster production on here. And then what we're going to do is we want to go ahead and grab a Druid. Kind of similar to what we did before. It's going to be a 0-3-0 on here, and that's going to help with balloon cleanup. Immediately after, rotate back to our spike factory, and we're going to upgrade the middle path again to a mob shredder. Once we get our first mob shredder, what we're going to do is we're immediately going to grab a boomerang, kind of like the first video that I did, and we are going to upgrade our boomerang. So when we get the boomerang, place it towards the bottom, and then you're going to want to upgrade this very quickly. You're going to do the top path 3 times, bottom path twice, and then upgrade the top path again. So it's going to end up being a 4-0-2 on here. Immediately grab yourself another mob shredder on here, and you're going to mark it on close again, and it's going to be a 0-3-2 on here. We want to kind of get as many of these to start hitting the boss as quickly as possible. Once we get that, you're going to place 2 boomerangs, one on the left and one on the right. Both of these are going to be 3-0-2s on here. And then we're going to rotate back to the mob shredders on here. Mark these on close on here. And this is going to be our strategy for the boss. This is going to hold for the majority. You're going to see me place these here. The mortar monkeys are all going to be 0, 2, 3s. And this is for camo detection. You're going to want 4 total and mark them on each one. The 2 lanes on the left and the 2 lanes on the right on here. That's just going to be for the camo detection until we can create our Druid of the forest on here. So make sure that you change where it's at, and then immediately upgrade our Druid up top path once and then the middle path twice, and then we're going to rotate back to the mob shredders on here. After we create this mob shredder here, what we're going to do is we're going to place 1 more mob shredder, and the mob shredder, we're going to mark it on close again. It's going to be a 0-3-2, just like the other ones on here. And once we get this other mob shredder, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of let our income build, and then we are going to sell very quickly and create the Druid of the Forest. Once we get the Druid of the Forest, all of the hard part is going to be done on the map. So it's just getting to this point of creating the Druid of the Forest. If you follow this exact strategy here, you can go ahead and sell when you have about 10k and quickly sell as quickly as possible. Start with the mob shredders, and as soon as you can, get the 35,000 on here. You can keep your boomerangs there if you want on here. I went ahead and cleared out pretty much everything now that we have the Druid of the Forest, because we're going to rebuild mob shredders on here. So it will go in between the rock and the lane going down on here. Ultimately, what we're going to do is we are going to create a T5 spike. It's going to be a 2-5-0, but before then, to help generate income, we want to kind of rebuild those mob shredders on here because it's very effective against this boss on here. So I will clear out the car on here to help that way I can add the mob shredders as well too on here. But and I am going to put a float as well in that pond so I can add additional ones. But once you get 3 of them, go ahead and upgrade 1 to a spike storm on there. That way we can use the ability and help generate there, and then remove that car on here, and then continue building these mob shredders all along the edge here. With having the Druid of the Forest, if you got to this point, that is the hardest part on here, and you'll be able to get a very solid score. This is going to be able to create a Dart Paragon towards the end as well too on here, so we'll be able to build that as well. So just continue our strategy of the mob shredders on here. I also did a float, like I said, in this pond. You're going to see me add that. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can just skip that on there because I was only able to put 1 spike on there as well too on here. So you don't have to do that if you don't want to on here. But what we want to do is create our T5 spike as quickly as possible. So that's what I'm going to sell, and then go ahead and build this as quickly as possible, and then rebuild the mob shredder. So a little bit of micro here on having to sell and rebuild, but having that T5 spike is really going to help with the damage on there and getting many of the levels off. I am also going to upgrade the boomerang as well too. That is going to end up being a T5, similar to how it was in the first video that I created for this island on here. So it's going to kind of help with the mobs that are coming down, even though we have the Druid of the Forest and the T5 spike on there. So you will see me upgrade to the Grave Lord on here as a 502 as well. And then you're going to see me put that float in here, that pontoon on here of what I said I was going to do on there as one additional mob shredder on here. But I highly suggest getting this because we want to kind of have added defense while we start preparing for our Dart Paragon as well too on here. So once we kind of get these mob shredders, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of rotate on here because we need to start preparing for the Dart Paragon. So as it passes, you can sell those mob shredders as well too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start our middle path for our Dart Paragon, go ahead and mark it on strong, and then just place additional dart monkeys. You can make these to bigger range, so then that way they can hit the boss as well too. You can kind of place them wherever you want on here, but ultimately we're preparing for our Dart Paragon as well too. So if you need to, you can go ahead and sell the mob shredders to upgrade to our T5 middle path on here. And as you're doing this too, make sure that you save up for that you use your abilities as well too. I did place a super monkey and make it a 3-0 just to kind of help with the mobs as well too while we're preparing for our Dart Paragon. But once we get ready to create our Dart Paragon, we're going to basically sell every tower apart from the dart monkeys on here. So you will see me here in a second go ahead and sell those mob shredders like I was talking about, so we can go ahead and create our T5 middle path as quickly as possible on here. So you can do that as the boss is starting to go past those mob shredders. Go ahead and sell them and then do your middle path dart, upgrade that. And then what we're going to do is just create the other two T5 darts on here. If you do this strategy and you're able to, and you have the monkey knowledge and you're able to create the other dart, if you had the monkey knowledge for the bottom path to up your Paragon, absolutely do this. But I have ran this map over several times over and over the last 2 days, and it has been a very difficult map for me on here. So creating this Dart Paragon was a struggle for me, but the more you do it, you'll be able to do it. So use your abilities. What I'm saving up for is the top path T5 there, which you just saw me do. And then what we're going to do is essentially just save up for the bottom path T5 as well too on here. So that's all you're going to see me do here. The other thing too, pending on when you are going to be able to, where the boss is when you're going to create your Paragon, is going to depend on how quickly you need to sell. So when you do go to create your Paragon, I would start with some of the lower tiers. So I would start with the Super Monkey on selling it first, and then the other towers on here. You will need to calculate on how much that you'll need on here in order to sell and have enough money as well too on here. So the Super Monkey is around 20,000, the Druid of the Forest is around 31,000, and then the Spike is 40,000 on here, and then the Boomerang on there I believe is around 30,000. So you will need around 30,000 saved up before you turn around and sell your towers as well too on here. So you can go ahead and just speed it forward, and then when you go to sell some of the least tiers first before you turn around and sell the other ones on here. So I would probably sell either the Druid of the Forest or the Spike Factory last on here when you go to sell to build your Paragon. And you will also see when I create the Paragon, I kind of keep pausing it while the Paragon's being created. I'm trying to help to where the balloons don't leak and the boss pushes forward because it's so close towards the end of the map. So that's why I'm constantly pausing and unpausing to try to help on there. And that's going to be it. Once you have enough money, sell, create your Paragon, and then you can rebuild. I suggest putting some Super Monkeys 302s to help with all of the mobs coming out and everything. This is a really tough map. I don't know why it was such a tough map for me. Make sure you drop a comment, a like, and subscribe if you haven't on here. And then if you did a different strategy, let me know on here. And I hope you guys truly enjoy the video. Thanks. Sorry for the late upload on the second video.